Oh, we're back again. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Sunday Bunch Live here on SAFC Fan TV. With me tonight, we got Lee, Terry, and Emma is there as well. And don't forget, of course, we are live, which means you can join us via the live chat and have your say. Lee, over in Spain, is there rain in Spain? How's your day been?
It's been a very wet day in Bilbao, mate. It's been raining all day, so it's going to get sunny tomorrow, though.
I don't know why I like it when you get rain in Spain, but it's just the jealousy of you always having bright sunshine. Terry, how's your day been?
Absolutely fantastic. I've been out all day. Nice Ruby wedding celebration. So
have you been married that long? Have you been married that long? Ruby wedding?
Oh, feels much longer than that, mate.
Yeah. And we've been joined also by Emma, a little bit in the dark there, but we can just about make you out. Emma, how's your day been?
I didn't see it was you. Didn't realise.
Hi, Terry. I have closed my curtains because there's too much of a glare, so it makes it a bit darker. You know, it's either that or you see this ugly mug, but you know. Now I've had a kind of day, just been shopping and tried on some clothes.
Right, okay. You haven't got an ugly mug. Don't be silly. You're on a diet and it's going well. How much have you lost?
Exactly 2 stone now in 9 weeks.
Yes, round of applause for Emma. Well done.
Got any tips, Emma?
Yeah, no chips. No chips, Lee. There's your tips.
I know cheesy chips.
Your diet will be out the window if we end up on Wembley Way. Them cheesy chips on Wembley Way. That'll not be good for you. So don't forget, of course, you can have your say via the live chat. Please join in. Already on there. I don't know why Emma's on the chat when she's on the show as well, but there you go. David Walker's in there. Hi, lads and Emma. Ian Brown. Hello. We need to start getting results leading up to the playoffs. We're going to get onto this anyway. But before I start, I must say, I've got to say a massive thank you to Mel. Now, Mel he's a massive fan of the show, and he was in the Weed Chief yesterday, and after we finished, he came up, lovely bloke, was asking about how Karen was doing and things like that, and he donated £50 to the channel to help the running costs of the channel. So come on, a big round of applause, please, for Mel. Absolutely didn't have to do that. Thank you very much. I've given it straight to Karen because she pays the bills, so they'll go towards the running costs of that. So thanks, Mel. You're an absolute star. Thank you very much. Right then, yesterday, Sunderland 0, Swansea City 1. It was an awful watch for me. I don't want to start about all the changes and all that because that's what I'm going to come on to next. I just want to ask you what you thought of the overall performance. Terry?
I think we started okay for the first 10 minutes. It went downhill, didn't it, really? It feels like we're just limping towards the playoffs, you know. It's like, we're making the changes and the players not really interested in getting injured, not putting a full shift in. It just feels like everyone's switched off a little bit. And it's not a good watch for the fans who turn up to watch the game of football. I understand the changes. I understand resting players. I understand everything. But, you know, it feels like we're just waiting for the playoffs now. And these games are just like a hindrance, absolute hindrance. It was a poor watch. It really was a poor watch, Phil.
Right, okay. I mean, you say the first 10 minutes we were all right. It was nearly on 10 minutes when I got in the ground because I don't know. I mean, I'm in the Premier Concourse, and for some reason it was packed up there. So I don't know if they've given a load of tickets away. Or, I know it was International Fans Day and stuff like that, but for some reason where I sat, I mean, it was packed around where I sat, and it's not normally like as rammed as that. So the queues were ridiculous. Before I pass this around quickly on the chat, DJ Sizzler Watson says, "Evening, everyone. My 8-year-old grandson said it was the worst game all season. David Walker, you would never think we had a chance of promotion after that shocker yesterday. Good job. We're already guaranteed the playoffs." Emma, overall performance yesterday, what did you think?
Absolute diabolical, Phil. I couldn't believe I was sat there watching that utter crap. I feel like going down the ticket office tomorrow and saying that, yeah, look, I'm cancelling my season ticket next season if we're going to play like that. It was just absolutely utter shite. It really was. I could go on a rant. I mean, we were still within, mathematically, we still had an automatic chance yesterday. And then for us to go out, play like that, show no memento, there was no get up and go. It was a shame for all us fans.
Yeah.
There was nothing for us there.
The thing is, though, Emma, you can't be telling porcupines on this channel. We know damn fine you wouldn't go to the ticket office and say, I'm not going to have my season ticket for next season. Because we all do it. We did. Then that's the problem.
I feel like it.
We just honestly, it's what we do. I've done it for years and gone, that's it, I've had enough. And then it wears off and away you go again. Lee, overall performance yesterday, what did you think?
I think it's been poor, Philly, and I think defensively we're fine, but it's just going forward. We've got that lack of composure on the ball. We seem to be very nervous. We're not playing the same triangles that we were early in the season. We used to play a lot of attacking triangles. I don't know if it's because we've been nullified or if it's because we've changed our style, but we just look so disjointed and lack of coordination when we're attacking. There's no togetherness up front. It's just like lack of understanding. And Lebris has got a big job now motivating the players for the playoffs, because for me the players don't look as motivated as they should be.
Right. Okay. Terry, you was one in there?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, let's face it, if we play rubbish between now and the playoffs, and all of a sudden we start playing brilliant in the playoffs and we get to the Premier League, you think, well, that kind of these tactics have worked, haven't they? But at the moment, it just seems like really poor, and the performances look as if they're completely tapered off.
Yeah, okay, all right. Let's go back to the chat just very quickly. Ian Brown says, all the promotion will give us is the chance to keep players and the money to go up and down. Ian Curry says, hi, lads. Sorry not being on for a while. Ian Curry, you can't not be on for a while, but you're back, so welcome back. But he's been really poorly, so you've got a good enough excuse there. Glad to see I've come on, and Emma's on. Ian Curry, oh, you got a fan, Emma. You got a fan. There you go.
I've got loads of fans, me, but I'm as popular as you.
Yeah, shut up, man. I've got haters. That's what I have. I have haters, not fans. Right, okay. Look, we try and hit 100 likes if we can on a Sunday. Take a second to hit that thumbs up. Just do that for us. That'll help us out. We got 68 people on the stream at the moment. Hit the thumbs up. Give us a like. Get us to 100. And likewise, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, and that will help us out immensely. Right. I am going to sort of touch on the Norwich game midweek as well, because obviously we've had 2 games since we was last on here. But resting players. I mean, obviously the first one was when we saw the team sheet at Norwich, and there was about 5 changes, I think, to that. So that was a bit of a shocker. And then obviously, changed the team around again. Now, resting players. Is he resting the players for the playoffs, right? And the question I want to put here, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Everybody goes on about momentum going into playoffs and stuff like that, right? But resting them, having them fresh, it could be a stroke of genius if it works, So I just want your thoughts on it. Is it genius? Is it silly? Should he be doing this or not? Lee?
I don't think it's genius, no, Philly. I think you need your players now, your best players playing now for these last few games to get some momentum going. And he should have freshened it up early in the season. When we had games against, Derby County, Oxford, won them at home, 2-0, comfortable victories, but he didn't make any subs, or he made the subs 5 minutes to go. We've got players like Helder and Alexic on the bench, Watson, Harrison Jones. They've just basically been thrown in now because he's been forced to, because we've had injuries, and they look out of place because they haven't had the game time. And these players could have been given more game time early in the season from the bench, because they're not ready to start. That's evident. And at the same time, we could have given the likes of Rig 60, 70 minutes and then bring them off and keep them fresh. But because we've basically flogged them for the whole season, they look totally knackered. So I think that now is not the time to rest them, although some of them do need a rest. But the other problem is that you can't play Watson, Harrison, Jones, and Alexic from the start because they simply aren't ready to start.
Right, okay. Just very quickly on the chat, Ian Brown says Lefay needs the full game time to show his abilities. Ian Curry says nobody else is doing it. Leeds, Burnley, Sheffield United. I think the difference is with them. They're going for that top two. We're cemented now, really in fourth place is where we're going to finish. So it is sort of slightly different there. Terry, is it a stroke of genius? I mean, if it comes off, it could be brilliant. It could be brilliant, even though everybody says that momentum going into the playoffs is what you need. Terry?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's time will tell, because if it works out in our favour where players are fresh. But I mean, are we really resting any players? The only player that I think we've rested is Job, because I mean, we normally don't play Roberts both games at midweek and weekends, and he always swaps Mienda and Isidore, and Lefay's been injured. So not really resting Lefay. Lefay has to have this time for rehabilitation. So for me, where we failed this season is the recruitment in January. That was the time to go out and really strengthen the squad, because we haven't got a strong squad. And we know now with like some Mundell being injured, look at the bench, a lot of kids on the bench. Joe's been out last couple of games with a bit of an ankle injury. And if you get one or two injuries, we haven't got a strong squad. The likes of Alexic look poor in the Norwich game. And when he's come on, he seems to maybe next season's his season. So I totally get resting the players, but I don't really think he's really resting anybody, to be honest, apart from, because I think Job is being forced out with an injury, and he's kind of trying to rotate the players, maybe he's half a game here and half a game there. But for me, I think the recruitment side really let Regis Labrie down in January, only bringing in one player, and that was Lefay, and that was it. When we needed to bring, if we brought in 3 or 4 quality players in January, we could have been up in the top 2. But I think that's where it's failed. The ambition to spend that money to the next level to get the players, to get the team in the top 2, we haven't gone there. But if we do, if players are, if you said to the players, look, these matches are not really that important, go out, do your best, but don't give 100%, look after yourselves for the playoffs. And it comes to the playoffs and we really up our game and another 30% higher, and we back to the high tempo and we score on goals. So time will tell. Time will tell, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of get what you're saying about are we really resting players. It's not like he's taken a load out, but he's changed it enough to sort of.
I don't think he has. I mean,
well,
let's face it. Who came off the bench yesterday? Mienda, Isidore have always rotated. It doesn't like playing them both together full stop anyway. So who else has come off the bench yesterday?
Something's made us shit, and it just looked like he certainly made changes.
Depth for the full season. It's a long, hard season. You got 40 odd games. You got all the cup games. It's a long, hard season. You got multiple injuries. We got loads of players out. We got Serkin out. We've got Alisi out. We've got the likes of Mundell out twice. We've had players out. Then the whole Watson situation. He looks as if his mind's not on the job yesterday. His mind's already at Brighton. So, the whole thing from January for me has just been poorly managed, I think.
Right, okay. Before I come to you, Lee, I quickly want to jump on the chat here. Ian Brown says 5 points between Sheffield and second place now. So it looks like we've got a good chance, if we've got to Wembley, of it being Sheffield United. Still time to go yet. Ian Curry, professional football should not be knackered, pure and simple. I'm with you on that. Terry wouldn't agree with that. Ian Brown says, as you said, Terry, about January, not spending the money. Ian Brown says, January was key. Dan's was key to promotion. And of course, he's just not going to play for us. Resting players then for the playoffs. Good idea. Stroke of genius or not a good idea, Lee?
No, I just want to follow on to what Terry said there, because we have to remember that we have the youngest squad in the league, and 46 games for the youngest squad in the league, and we're pushing for the top 4. It is difficult to maintain that level for these kids who have barely played any professional football in their life because they're so young. You got Rigu 17, Watson 18, Job is 19, 20. So it is a difficult ask for them to do it. And on the stroke of genius, Philly, is that like resting players isn't going to do anything because we've got issues up front, like creativity in that midfield and the wing and the forwards. I mean, Isidore hasn't scored what in 7 games now, 6-7 games, I think it is. So we've got issues there, and the only way you're going to solve those issues is by getting your best players on the pitch and trying to solve the issues. But like playing young lads, one of them who isn't going to be here next season, and one of them who's just like a young kid from the academy who probably isn't going to be involved in the playoffs by the time they come around because we'll have several players back from injury. I just think it's like now we need to kind of like focus on getting our best team on the pitch, trying to iron out these problems that we've got up front and creativity wise. Because I think the last few games, our expected goals is like less than 1 goal per match.
Yeah, right. Emma, I've not come to you on this yet, have I?
No, not.
No, right. Just give me a sec, then I'll come straight to you. DJ says that Watson said would have been better start with the main team, finishing teams off and then bringing the players off to rest them, which is a fair point. Emma, could this be a stroke of genius from Reggie?
I think this has come from higher up. I think it's coming from above his head, potentially Speakman. Because what I'm thinking here, right, is I get the fact of resting players if they're coming back from injury, bring them back into the game slowly. I get all that, like what Terry said. All right. But I think potentially we had the chance still to go for automatics and they've took their foot off the gas. Why? Are they giving these people the game time to sell them in the summer transfer? This is what I'm thinking. Now, I don't think it's going to make a damn bit of difference resting them now for the playoffs because I still don't think that will have the momentum then because they're just simply the way they're playing and the tactics he's got were not good enough. We've been found out by other teams. So no matter how much he switches it up, it's still going to be the same result, really, in my opinion.
Right, that's a fair point, that Emma. Valid point, could very well be that. Just very quickly, back to the chat. David Walker says, should not play Watson again. Terry spot on. He's thinking of Brighton already. John T says, Reggie hasn't got a clue. Tony Huntington, we haven't hit peak form since November. Tactics have changed. I'm going to come on to that a little bit later on, so I'll whiz past that. John Murray, Sunderland are not going to get past Sheffield United. I'm assuming that is it if we get them in the final, if we get to the final. Don't forget to hit the like button if you would. We try and get 100 if we can on a Sunday. So we got we got 90 odd on the channel at the moment. Hit the thumbs up, and that will help us immensely. As this, I mean, I'm calling it resting players. Has this got anything to do with bookings and suspensions and things like that? Because I think I read that Job was 1 booking away. Somebody else's, I can't remember who, might be Roberts or something like that, is 1 booking away from another suspension. And I think when you've played so many games, it wipes it clean. So do you think he might be trying to hold back playing them till after that so that they don't end up getting a suspension? Do you think that could be a thing? I don't know. Just an idea. Terry?
I don't know. Do the suspensions continue into the playoffs? Does everybody get a clean sheet, clean, slate for the playoffs for yellow cards? How does that work out? I'm not sure. If you're in the chat and you know the answer to that, if you can stick that down. I know I read it this week or last week, and I know it said something about 38 games. But I mean, if these players, if these games are not really that important to anybody, if you get a yellow card and get suspended now, isn't that better to get suspended now than the playoffs?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I say, I've read it somewhere, and I've skimmed over it, and I've not read it properly. So that's my fault, and I do apologise.
We all know the top 3 teams above us have all got the parachute payments and got the money and they got the strength and depth, and they really went out and strengthened in the January window. And we just didn't do that. We don't have the money, or we don't have the ambition to spend the money for that at this moment in time. And that we've just failed. It's nothing to do with players being tired and this, that, and the other. It's lack of strength and depth. we can't rotate our players because we haven't got any quality players to come off the bench, to be honest. And then we get the injuries, which means it puts more on the younger players, like Lee said. So it's just a lack of ambition to really to take it by the metal. When you're in January, we should have really strengthened when you had the opportunity. It seems to be like a running theme. We don't seem to buy the right players, or we knew Dan's was injured, but we got Dan's anyway. So I don't understand that loanee signing, whether that's for next season, to get him back next season. Maybe that could be the thing. But we've been missing a striker for the majority of the season. I mean, Isidore and Mienda are both good in their own right, and they're getting better, but they're not an out-and-out striker, which we need, I think.
Right, okay. Let me quickly go back to the chat. Peter Solkeld says, I thought the deadline for suspensions had passed, so it may have, like I said, I'm not fully clear on that. Ian Brown says, well said, Emma. We're going to end up losing the majority of the squad. Why not play the whole squad anyway? Victoria Burns is on there. Hello, Victoria. Says it worries me because you can't turn form on and off. We are going to try and get Victoria on one Sunday night onto the Sunday Bunch if we can, so she can say in person. Keith Peverly says, welcome back. It's all Sweetman's fault. Yeah, right. There you go then. Marianne and Carl Taylor, our friends over in Boston, Massachusetts, are there. Hi, guys. Don't care about these last few games. As long as we have everyone fit for the playoffs, we always fare better against the better teams, apart from Coventry. We don't want those, is what's being said there. So, Lee, do you think it has got anything to do with suspensions, not playing these players? Or, here's one, not playing Job on Tuesday night against Norwich when his, excuse me, when his brother was at, where was he? It was Real Madrid playing Arsenal. Do you think he's gone down to watch his brother play at Arsenal on Tuesday, or what? I mean, do you think it's got something to do with suspensions or not?
No, I don't think so, Phil. I think Job was injured, wasn't he? He had an ankle injury. He didn't play yesterday. But I think like the suspensions, I think it goes by cut-off points, isn't it? In certain parts of the season where you get like 5 yellow cards, 10 yellow cards. The 10 yellow cards is like expired a few games ago because Job, I think, missed that. And I'm not sure now if it's the end of the season, if it's whether it goes up to 15, I don't know. But I don't think suspensions or yellow cards. 37 fixtures, is it? Right. So I don't think so. I think like Job just had an injury. I think it was wise, maybe just to give him a little bit of a breather, make sure he doesn't make it any worse. And that's all I can say about that.
Right. Okay. So have you just so it's 37 games then, Emma. So it's now to do with the bookings or anything like that? No.
Yeah, I've just googled it. In the Championship, the cut-off point for 5 yellows is after 19 fixtures, which won't be released until about early December. The cut-off point for 10 bookings is after 37 fixtures, which should be hit around early March. That's what Google says.
Right. Okay. So right now to do with that then. All right. Thanks, Emma. I mean, I don't know if it's been a good thing or not, us securing our playoff place so early, because we wouldn't be talking about. I know, Terry, you're not agreeing that he's resting players, but there's been changes, and all of a sudden, I mean, we've gone really, really shit. I know we've not been brilliant for a few months now, really, but I mean, as Reggie given up on the league, then now that's secure. I mean, we've dropped 5 points right this week. The 2 we dropped at Norwich and the 3 we dropped yesterday. And Sheffield United have lost 3 on the belt. All right. Had we pulled our socks up and performed on Tuesday and yesterday, we'd have been 2 points behind Sheffield United now. I know it's all, this and that and what have you, but we'd have been 2 points behind them. And surely finishing third's better than finishing fourth as well, and having that momentum. Do you think he has just given up on it and said, right, forget what's going on in the league now, all we're focused on is the playoffs. Emma?
I don't know, Phil. It goes back to what I said before. Is this coming from higher up? Are they saying take your foot off the pedal? We're not going to get automatics. Just sit back and do what you need to sit where we are. I just don't know. But as a fan, I just don't think it's good enough if I were to do that. We need to keep pushing. Like you say, we've dropped 5 points in the last 2 games and Sheffield's lost. I mean, Christ, in the next couple of weeks, Burnley and Leeds might drop points. And if we look back and think, well, technically, if we look back over the whole season and look at all the points we've dropped for all these last-minute goals, etc., where would we be sat now? So why is he just content with the playoff place? That's what I want to know.
Right, okay. Just very quickly on the chat here, Ian Curry says it was past 4 weeks ago, the deadline for suspensions. It's now 8 yellows, apparently. Ian Brown says Job needs a break. He didn't get one during the international break, so he deserves it. Lee, do you think Reggie's given up on the league now and he's purely like just focused on the playoffs?
I wouldn't say so, Philly. I think it's just like ever since we had those 5 draws in, was it October, November time? I think we had those run of 5 draws in a row and then we lost to Sheffield United. I think that was a key point, that we dropped a lot of points there. So you could argue like we've dropped points there. I just think he talks a lot in his interviews about solving the problems on the pitch, and he gets the players to solve the problems on the pitch. The problem he's got at the minute is that he needs to solve the problem of how to score more goals, because that's our biggest problem. So I don't think it's a case that he's just giving up. I think he needs to try and find a different way of playing that gets us more chances and to score more goals, because we just do look lacking in ideas. And our only hope yesterday, the only person who was really trying to do something was Patrick Roberts.
Yeah, right, okay. Just very quickly back to the chat before I come to you, Terry. DJ says, Watson says, does fourth play third place? No, it's third place 6th, fourth place 5th. But you get the home tie 2nd if you're 3rd and 4th. Miles Percival says, does the bonus money stop after 36 games because something's gone wrong? Ian Brown says, of course, Reggie's give up on the league. He wouldn't be playing the shit of Watson and Jones and Lexic. So, Terry, do you think he has given up on the league?
I think there's so much giving up. I think he's had his hands forced. I mean, we brought in Brown to be an experienced midfielder to help out in the midfield, where we've had multiple injuries in defence. Ballard's out, Yelda was out for a while, Cerkin's out, Elise's out. So we insist on buying these young players, these young talented players with a history of injuries. And unfortunately, they keep bringing these injuries, keep coming up over and over again. So now Brown's playing at right back because Yelda, obviously, he's just come back from an injury and he wants to get him fit for the playoffs, of course. Lafay again is being brought in, got injured, trying to get him back fit for the playoffs. So that means the midfield now is very sort of, we shorten the midfield. So we've only got the likes of Chris Rigg and Dan Neil, who were the 2 main midfielders, because Job with the injury. And Job, when he got that ankle injury, I think it was the game's West Brom, should have been brought off, but he stayed on. And that affected him. Obviously, you stay on, you play with an injury at the time, you think you can do it, but it'll affect your body later on. So he's missed 2 games now. We've got to make sure we get him back. So we are, that again, I go back to strength and depth. We've either got to buy more players or stop buying injury-prone players. Yeah, I get the whole situation. We'll buy youngsters who can come in, good quality youngsters with a history injury, and we kind of hoping and praying, touching wood, that we can bring them through the injuries, come on to better things and sell them on for more money. But that also works the other way. These young players who are injury prone may stay injury prone. Nobody wants them to stay injury prone, but unfortunately, some of them are going to. And then we bring in players like Samid and Paveda, who have never really been in the team. And we've got the other lad, I don't know, the other lad we brought in January from somewhere, and he's never been in it full stop. So we keep bringing all these injury prone players in, which puts pressure on the rest of the squad, which means it's short. And that's the thing. We've got to stop buying and bringing these low-knees in who are constantly injured all the time. It's just a waste of time. Those, like I said, that Abdullah, whatever you call him, Paveda and Samid, what a waste of time. Absolute waste.
Right, okay. Right. We're trying to get up to 100 likes as we always do on a Sunday. We're only on 46, so we're lagging behind a little bit there. So you can hit the like button. I'll tell you what, in fact, what you should do if you think Emma is really sexy, then hit the like button and we'll watch it go like that.
I'm going to unlike now, Phil.
Well, let's have a look. Emma, don't put yourself down. Listen, let's see how it goes. It's going to fly now. It's going to absolutely fly. Right, I'll tell you what then. Before, because I want to get on to another thing about yesterday's game, but before I do, I mentioned it earlier. As Regis Lebris changed the way we play then, because, you know, at the start of the season, we were just brilliant. It was great to watch. It was that attacking football. Has he actually changed the way we play now, or have we just not got the players to just continue what he was doing? Lee?
I think he's been forced to change the way we play because, as I said before, we used to play these passing triangles, which was our main force of attack down the wings. It was basically the winger with the midfielder and the fullback. You'd have like Roberts working with Rig and Hume, and they would form little triangles and it would get us up the pitch. And I think going back to those 5 draws and the 5 draws and the defeat to Sheffield United, I think teams have kind of found this out and they've found a way to stop it. And that's why like our attack and play now doesn't have any kind of real function to it. It's just a bit disjointed. So I think what he has done, he's made us very solid because we had all those clean sheets at the start of the season. And recently, I think what's impressive is also the way we defend. You see a lot of players like Mepham, 09, jumping in front of the ball, diving, last-ditch tackles, which is positive. But I think we do need to work on that midfield and forward line because that's going to be, if you don't score enough goals, you don't win games.
Right, okay. So not so much that Reggie's changed it, more that sort of we've been found out by other teams. Just very quickly on the chat then, says down here, Keith Peverley says, everyone was complaining about overplaying certain players, and then when we rest them, the same people are complaining that we're not playing our first team. I never complain about overplaying players because I don't think you can get tired as a footballer. You get tired when you do 90 hours down the pit and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And with a proper job, not playing football, doing something you love. Tony Huntington says, we were fast attacking, trade down the wing. Now we just sit back. Terry, has he changed the way we play, or have we actually been found out?
I think we've just been found out. I think we have, yeah. And I mean, you know, I get the whole situation where players not being tired, playing all season. But the thing is, if you have other teams with stronger squads who can rotate players and bring on fresher players and bring on players, you know, with experience, the team that plays the whole season with the same players all the time are going to be found out because you're going to have you're going to have a team with the same quality players, but then obviously 5 or 6 players on the bench that can come on is equally as good. And that's the difference between the top teams like Burnley, Leeds and Sheffield United. We don't have that strength in depth. So our players are going to get tired through a whole 90 minutes where other teams can rotate their squad. They can rotate their players. And I think we've been found out because we don't really have any other way of playing the way we play. And we can't keep that high tempo, that high press that we've done at the start of the season. We've tapered off with that for whatever reason, whether that's been changed on purpose or whether it's just been changed. I don't know.
Right. Okay. I mean, watching us play yesterday, I mean, I was thinking, God, we're not going to get anywhere near Wembley like this. But then I thought, you know, I've watched some of the Premier League games today, and I thought, you know, if we do get into the Premier, you know, we've got to spend big. Otherwise, we're gonna do another Southampton at this rate. Emma, has he changed the way we play? Have we been found out? What's going on with the? I mean, we don't attack anymore, do we? Really?
I said before, we've been found out. Pure and simple, we've been found out. But then it also makes me question how much of a role Mike Dodd's played within the club. Because although he's crap at being a manager, it seems since he's left, we've went more downhill. So does LeBron just not have the brain effectively to change it up? Or is it a case of we haven't got the players? But simple, we've been found out.
Right, okay. Lee, you want in there?
Yeah, Philly. It's interesting, like Lebris's comments yesterday after the match. He said, we have to manage the squad. While the result wasn't what we wanted, today was an opportunity for some players to get valuable minutes. Now, for me, like, why now? Why not earlier in the season? Yeah, he had the chance, you know what I mean? He had the chance. And, do you know, you mentioned your point there about the Premier League and how different it is to the Championship. You say that we need to buy, right, next season. I've got a Leeds mate here, Leeds fan. And he was saying, like, oh, if we go up, Lee, we need to spend a fortune because our squad is rubbish. And we're all saying that Leeds have got a brilliant squad. So if he's saying that about his squad, imagine us.
Right, okay. Terry?
I honestly think, in my opinion, if we get promoted, you'll sell the team, you'll sell the club. You'll try.
Can you actually see we're getting promoted, Terry?
Hey?
Can you see we're getting promoted at this minute in time?
Well, that's the thing, you know. I'm pretty convinced that we've got another 30% we can raise our game. I reckon we can raise our game in the playoffs. I reckon we're just coasting now. I reckon the majority of the players, and it might not be the right way to go about it, you know, in hindsight, it'll be a wonderful thing when it happens. But I think their minds are on the playoffs. They're keeping themselves ready for the playoffs. They're already there. What's the point of breaking your neck? I know we want to see us win games of football and play good football, but the longevity is that we get to the final in Wembley and we do well, we'll come back and think, well, this was a good plan. So let's just see what happens first. If it all goes tips up and we get smashed in the semi-finals, then we know we just ran out of gas and we weren't good enough. But if we get to the final, get to the Premier League and win the playoffs, we'll know it was a good game plan. So I'll save my, you know, criticism of the head coach and that until what happens at the end of the season. It doesn't look good at the moment. It looks poor. It's poor football. But half of me saying, well, why would you want to break your neck now when you've got the big games coming up? So we'll wait and see.
Right, okay. Emma, seeing as you've just had your child on, my child has come through as well to say hello to everybody. Colin, say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. Just very quickly on the chat then, Tony Huntington says, Lee is spot on. We need to score more goals. We missed Dots. Interesting. Dave Common is on there, better known to everybody as Dave the Rave. Said we played poor. Sunderland will bounce back. Sunderland v Blackburn. He says we'll see us there. So obviously he's going to come into the week. Chief Ian Brown says teams like Borough, Coventry, and Bristol have to play their first team squad. We don't, and that means we should have the upper hand. So, well, it remains to be seen, doesn't it? Colin, you just go back down there and see your mum. Right then, I'll tell you what then, before we... I was going to do an advert, but I want to do this bit first. Right. Yesterday, Swansea dropping like flies for anything, going down, holding their goalie. You sit behind that goal anyway, Terry, so you probably saw this. Their goalie sat down, right, and then was told to get up, twice sat down again, and then carried on, never then when he went out to play, oh, I'm injured, just blatant time wasting. Players going down, there's a player went down, he held his head, right, came over, nothing wrong with him, up and away. Can you think of a punishment, what needs to be given? I think if somebody goes down holding the head, right, and then a trainer doesn't come on or a physio doesn't come on or anything like that, I think they should have to go off and stay off for a minute, 2 minutes or whatever it is to stop people going down, holding their head and doing that. Or do you think there's something else we can do to stop it? Because it's so frustrating, Aaron. Emma?
Didn't we have this a few weeks ago? I can't remember what game it was after.
Preston, wasn't it? Was it Preston when they were blatant time wasting Monday?
We had the same thing again there, and it's just like now it's changed with it. What could you do? Like you say, send them off. Do we do like is it ice hockey where they've got like a sin bin or something? Or is that rugby?
I think rugby do that now, don't they? Rugby have got like a sin bin where you're 5 minutes in there or something like that.
Yeah, they should do something like that.
It's just the thing is what they're doing now. They're going down now, and immediately they'll hold the head because it has to be stopped. And I'm not saying we wipe that rule out. You know, I mean, it's there for a reason, but it's getting abused. And I think if they could put something in place to stop them doing that, then all the better. Terry?
I also believe this 5 substitutions malarkey is an absolute pile of rubbish. We need to go back to 3 subs, and that's it. Having 5 subs it ruins the game. All the changes and everything, it's just rubbish. That keeper yesterday was not wrong with him. We upped our tempo. We started getting into the game. He went down. The referee said, "Get up, man," and he got up and he got on with the game. Not wrong with whatsoever. Play acting, you know. Referees need to be stronger, but the hands are tied. You know, player goes down holding his head. That's the rule. You got to stop the game now, haven't you? And it was 2 or 3 times when we were in the ascendancy going forward, it just broke our play up.
Right, okay. Tony Huntington on the chat says, if we do get promoted, we'll come straight back down, but I'll take that for the parachute money. We'll all take promotion, even if we're going to come back down. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing worse than watching you get tonked every week. But at least, you know, you want to be up there. Of course you do. Lee, do you think there's anything what can be put in place to try and avoid this play acting? Because it's so frustrating to watch.
I think it was quite refreshing to see the referee actually tell the keeper to get up yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't think we've seen that before, have we? Not. I mean, normally they'll stop playing no matter what.
Yeah.
But the referee just did tell him to get up. I think. Listen, if it's a head injury and the referee has seen that it is a head injury, then fair enough, you stop the game. But if the referee is certain that he hasn't touched your head, you're just feigning it, then I think the referee should be allowed to carry on if he's 100% sure that the player hasn't had a head injury. Because, you know, like people get hit in the chest and they go down holding the head. I think if the referee's seen, you're not injured, you haven't hurt your head, you've been hit in the chest, so I'm going to carry on. I think the referee should be given that power. I wouldn't say a sin bin, though. I don't think that's the way to go.
Right, okay. Head injuries are supposed to go off for a concussion check. That's a fair point. Tony Huntington says that. John T. The problem is if a keeper goes down and is treated, he does not have to go off for 30 seconds. Swansea had obviously practiced this. Yeah, but like you said, the ref did actually tell him to get up. Miles Percival says it was the only thing that the ref did well yesterday. These likes we're trying to get, we were on 45 when we asked if Emma was sexy. Hit the like button, and 11 people think you're sexy, Emma. So there you go. Hit the like button. It'll take you a second. That will help us out. Right, let's get a man of the match off you, and then I need to do this advert. Man of the match yesterday, then Emma.
The only person I think had a decent game that put a shift in was Robert. I mean, when the fee came on, he looked good, but obviously Roberts played the majority of the game more than what Lefay did. So I'm going to say Roberts was the only one that he tried to get the ball in. He just couldn't do anything with it. But he played with his heart on his sleeve yesterday for me.
Right, okay. I mean, I suggested we did the fan cam interviews yesterday. I normally have Emma there to film for me, but she's dropped us in so many times that I just I did it myself. I was a one-man band yesterday, but it was good to get back chatting to the fans. And I suggested Lefay coming on, and a couple of them said, "Well, I don't think it's fair with him coming on for the last 20 minutes that he would get man of the match." Terry, man of the match for you?
Yeah, I'll give it to Chris Mebban. I think he's one of our most solid players, and like I say, he puts his body on the line, last ditch defending, and I think he's Mr. Consistent. He's done really well this season, and I think I would love to probably sign him for next season.
Right, okay. Quickly on the chat here. Don't take this the wrong way, Emma, but David Jones says Terry Wall is the sexiest on the panel. And Ian Brown says, correct, David. We all, listen, you know, you are sexy. Too sexy for your shirt, apparently.
Well, you know, I don't like the post,
Emma,
you know.
Emma's feeling the pinch of the energy price increase. She had to put her cardi on there because she can't afford now to turn the heating up. And oh, by the way, Emma, at the end, in case I forget, this is not for anybody. I'm just talking to Emma now. I want to ask you about that cladding on your wall behind you, but I'll do that at the end when we're off air.
I've already put the cardi on, so I'll get wrong if I put the heating on, man.
Right, okay, there you go. Lee, man of the match yesterday.
I'm going to go with Ems. I think Patrick Roberts. I think he's very comfortable at receiving the ball in tight spaces. He always tries to make something happen. His first intention is to go forward. However, recently, he is coming inside, infield, a lot more than he used to, where he used to go down the line quite a lot. You see him now, he's always coming inside because he hasn't got any support down the wings. And it goes back to those passing triangles that we were talking about before. So, yeah, Patrick Roberts, but it was a case of what? All fart and no shite, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I love Patrick Roberts. I have got a soft spot for him. I think he's great, and I keep willing him to get a goal because he deserved a goal yesterday. The performance he put in yesterday was probably the only one who really tried. I did think Lefebvre was good when he came on, but I would give it to Roberts as well. I thought he was, he did actually put a shift in. Right then. I want to quickly do this advert for football prizes. Again, sponsored the channel this month for us, running a fantastic Sunderland competition. And it's only 39 pence to enter. 39 pence. Who's not got, even Emma, who's struggling to afford to put the eating on, could afford to enter the football prizes competition because it's only 39p. And there's someone here to tell you all about it. Well, football prizes have gone and done it again, haven't they? This time it's the biggest ever Sunderland competition to date. So a chance for you to enter, an absolute must for any Sunderland fan. It is only 39p to enter. So you need to get yourself in there. There is a link in the description to enter the competition. Fantastic prizes you can win. There are signed squad shirts, individual shirts, Bellingham, Lefebvre, Rig, 09, all those shirts. Some of them are even in custom LED frames as well. There are Jules shirts in there. There's just, to be honest, there is so much. It's hard to list everything. You need to go and have a look at it. Check out the prizes. Get yourself entered. Like I've said, it is only 39p. There are also over 100 instant win prizes as well. So click the link. Check it out. It's football prizes. It's their biggest ever Sunderland competition. Get yourself entered for just 39p. Oh, my word. I don't know if I enjoyed watching that. That was before I had my Botox. But never mind. There you go. So enter that. There's a link in the description. 39 pence. Chance to be a winner. Right then, let's get on to Easter this weekend. 2 games. We'll just cover the Good Friday one because we'll be back on Sunday to do the. We can look forward to the Blackburn game on Bank Holiday Monday. Bristol City away. Bristol City are Bristol City now still in? Are they still in 5th place? Anybody? I do have to hang on. I'll try and get this up myself. So they're in there with those teams, Coventry and Borough and all that are the ones who are, so they've got a lot to play for. Important game for them. They're in 5th place, just 2 points behind. Oh no, they're not. A lot behind us. In 5th place anyway. Do we go back to playing our best team, or as someone has suggested today on social media, I read, right? Do we play a shit team, a weakened team, to get Coventry back for 1970? Was it 75, 76, 77? I don't know. For that time, which when you think about it, I thought, oh, that's good. Not that I bear grudges. But then the thing is the team that were playing on that night when they saw that draw out was Bristol City, is who they were playing. So it doesn't work. So do we play our best team? Or are we still resting and just focusing on them playoffs? Terry?
Yeah, I think he'll just rest and focus on the playoffs. That's what he'll be doing. I don't think he'll be worried about playing his best team. It'd be nice to get to beat Bristol City and get a draw if possible, but I don't think he's going to be interested in anything else. I think he's completely focused now on the playoffs.
I mean, looking at this league now as well, mind, because of the way the results went yesterday. I mean, it was probably 3 playing for the last 2 places, but now there's Bristol, Coventry, West Brom, Middlesbrough, and Millwall are in the mix there as well. I think it's too much now for Blackburn. But there's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 teams now with a genuine chance of getting those last 2 playoff places in there. So it's going to be squeaky bum time for those teams around there. Lee, do we strengthen it up, go back to our best team and start to get a bit of momentum going now? Or do you agree with Terry and just not bother?
I think against Bristol City, I think he's got to go with a good team, because if we lose to Bristol City and we've lost to Coventry and we could play either of them in the playoffs, I think it could be very psychologically damaging for our players, and it could give the other team a boost knowing that they beat us. So for Bristol City away, I'd go for a strong team, and then for Blackburn, I'd probably go for a couple of changes.
Right, okay. I mean, I was going to get onto that. I mean, with us playing Bristol City, it could be psychological. Let's say we get Middlesbrough in the playoffs, and you could say, "Oh, we've done the double over them," and it could be one of them things. But the pessimist in me goes, "It'd be sod's law. You do the double over them." And
do you know what, Philly? Last week I was listening to Total Sport on Friday, and Gary Bennett was saying, well, we're saying we don't want to play Coventry in the playoffs and everything because everything what's happened, we don't have a good record. But Gary Bennett was saying, what do other teams think about us? Would they want to play us? Because we've got 76 points. We've got a lot more points than them. So we do have this kind of fear of Coventry because we haven't played very well against them. But do they fear us because we're so far ahead of them?
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, it's all psychological, and you've just got to. I mean, for me, I can't get past this. It's always about momentum in the playoffs, and there's always that one team what has that run. I mean, Millwall have put a few results together. Recently, they beat Bury yesterday. They beat Sheffield United. They've put themselves in the mix now. If they end up in that top 6, Millwall could be that team with that momentum, what tends to then go on and end up getting promoted. And that's how I've always seen it to work. But it was just a thought that, is Reggie just thinking about the playoffs? And it could be a masterstroke if this is what he's doing. It's a different way to what I would do it. But anyway, Ian Curry said, if we get to Wembley, I'll do a streak on the pitch. So maybe it's a good idea if we get knocked out in the semi-finals. I would imagine. Right, okay. Emma, would you go for our best team on Good Friday at Bristol City?
I'm halfy on this one, because I think the fact that we got beat yesterday, we need to go in all guns blazing and get the win, so we've got that confidence boost and we'll get that momentum. But on the other side of it, I'm thinking myself, well, we've got a chance to play Bristol in these playoffs. So could it not be better if we didn't show our strengths to Bristol so close to the playoffs? So I'm very in the middle with this one. I can't give you an honest answer on this one.
Yeah, that's a fair point, that, Emma. Don't show your best hand, and though it's psychological, if they beat us, it could work sort of in our favor, because really you've only beaten us, you've beaten our second team, really. I don't know. couple of people on the chat here are saying, Tony Huntington says the best way to get revenge on Coventry is to beat them in the playoffs. Absolutely. I'll come to you just now. Well, go on, Lee. Go on, jump in.
I just want to. You mentioned there about psychological. I don't know if you heard Chris Wilder at Sheffield United during the week when he was doing the preview for the Plymouth game, and he said, they asked him, like, what are your thoughts on Plymouth? And he said, well, they're bottom, and they're bottom for a reason, and they got beat off them yesterday 2-1, and he had a fight with the players. So
yeah,
that was their team
like
talk.
It's a bit like what Terry said about Farker at Leeds. He went, oh well, we're up. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they were, they were struggling to get a win. Paul Havelock on the chat says, my biggest fears is players getting injured, but at the same time, I like winning games. David Jones says, if Sunderland are safe in the playoffs, which we are, he thinks it's a genius to rest the best players. It could be. You know what I mean? There is that thing about, we're resting them. Yes, you don't get that momentum, but you also don't end up getting your best players injured when you're out there playing them. It could actually be a stroke of genius on Reggie's part, and hopefully it is. Look, we're running out of time anyway. Let's get some predictions from you. Bristol City versus Sunderland. Terry, what are you going for?
0-0 draw.
I thought, Terry, for a minute, you know what? I thought you was gonna predict a loss.
I'm not going to say what I actually think. I'm going to say a 0-0 draw.
I knew, because you'll never ever predict a Sunderland defeat, and I knew it was on your face there. You're going for a 0-0, right? Fair enough. But really, you're saying 3-0 to Bristol.
I'm thinking we'll just not show up. Unfortunately.
And it's
not a good thing for the away fans who were going, but the away fans who were going must be thinking the same thing as well.
Yeah,
I hope we can get some kind of draw or sneak a win. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad to think, but there's nothing really to play for there, is there? I mean, we're finishing fourth. We're not going to finish any lower than that anyway. Lee, prediction: Bristol City versus Sunderland.
Well, looking at the last 5 times we played them, 3 draws and 1 win apiece, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, Philly.
A 1-1 draw. Emma, what are your thoughts down at Ashton Gate? It is still Ashton Gate, and I have to change it to Bristol Building Society Co-op, whatever. I don't know what they're doing now. Go on.
No, I reckon I'm going to say 1-1. It's going to be a draw, but I'm saying the 1-1 because I think we're going to come back and get that goal to give with that confidence boost.
So did you say 1-1, Beth?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So that's 3 draws along the way. Keith Peverley says we should treat the rest of the season like a second pre-season. I always go for a 3-1 Sunderland win, but I can't remember when we scored sort of like more than a goal or won by more than a single goal. So, you know what? I'm like you, Terry. I think we're going to get beat, but I ain't going to say it. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw as well. I think we've all drawn across the board. So different people on here saying, Ian Brown's saying 1-1 will scrape a draw. And that's him being optimistic. Paul Havelock, 4-1 to Sunderland. They need a win. Get a bit of confidence boost, saying there. Look, we're just about time's up. We need you to hit the like button. We like to get 100 if we can on a Thursday, and we're a canny bit off it at the moment. We're 37 likes. Just hit the like button, the thumbs up. It'll take a second to do that. And of course, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that. And of course, it's free to subscribe as well. So enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget Friday, Good Friday. Busy week for me. I'm working all over Easter because I'm a grafter. So I hope you enjoy the match down at Bristol. Just a case of, saying goodbye to everybody. Terry?
Goodbye, everybody. Have a fantastic week.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Finished on and up. So goodbye, everybody, and have a fantastic week. And I was waiting for a bit more, but there you go. All right. Emma, just say bye to everyone, would you?
Just say bye to everyone.
There you go. And Lee over in Spain, I like it in Spanish.
Oh, I know you do. Hasta luego a todos. Pasa buena semana. Feliz Semana Santa. How are the lads?
Yay!
And Philly, I've got a suggestion to get 40 more likes. It's my 40th birthday on Tuesday, so come on, give me 40 likes for my birthday.
Wow, Lee, are you only 39?
I am only 39, yeah. Don't look at the head, man. Don't look at the head. That's genetic.
Right. Well, happy birthday for a Tuesday.
Cheers,
All
man.
right. And yeah, we just hit the like button for Lee, who's 40. 40 there again on Tuesday. I wish I was only 40. Right, listen, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you. We'll have a live stream on Friday, I think, on the channel. And don't forget, if you are a member of the channel, what's your name in the credits at the end? We'll see you. Bye bye. Here's a wave. There you go.